food bank. I'm doing some cool stuff, and you know what? I'm really enjoying life, Sean. I'm really grateful for every day. And instead of waking up and stressed and like, oh my God, what's Eddie done today? Constantly sort of, oh my God, can I deal with today? And having your 3 hours sleep. Now, if I have 3-4 hours sleep, I get up and I'm like, okay, I'm a bit tired, but I'm here. It's another day. I've got a big tube that's attached to me at night. It's not pleasant. It's not easy, but that stoma keeps me alive. And hey, I am so grateful to the doctors that saved me. I didn't think I'd get through. There were times where I was just broken. I lost 4 stone in weight. I was looking at myself in the mirror thinking, I cannot do this. I can't fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I can't fight. I couldn't go in a ring, but I had to fight for my life, and it was really hard. And I guess I'm just really grateful that I'm through that. And hey, look, I have my scans, and I don't know what the future holds. None of us do. What I do know is that for today, I'm really happy, and tomorrow I'll deal with. But yeah, I feel very grateful to be here.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't know a lot about certain cancers, and I would love, for you to talk us through some of the things that you went through in a little bit more detail. I can resonate with you here a lot because my mum's going through cancer right now, and unfortunately they found out stage 4, which is already broke stomach lining, in the fat tissues, CT scans. I didn't know what PET scans were before. I didn't know any of these things, and then chemo to push things back. She's past the stage where you could even do an operation to cut it out. So it's like on borrowed time. So every day is gratitude and
Absolutely.
giving thanks.
I'm sorry to hear that, but also you're right. Every day is very important. The one thing is, Sean, is that we all are born and we all die. So, and there's ways of thinking about it. You can think you're invincible. You can be really frightened of it, but ultimately, going through that with your mum, and as I said, I'm really sorry to hear that. And it's about accepting and enjoying what time you do have, because as I said, all of us are not going to be here. It's a short window. I lost a couple of friends, one in my 20s. He died in a fire, and I lost another friend who was hit by a driver when he was riding a bike. Horrendous injuries, accidents, horrendous horror stories, terrible, tragic. So yeah, look, you don't know which way life's going to go. And I think that, the time you have with your mom, just enjoy every moment. And and I hope that she's got what she wanted out of life up to this stage. I think that's another way of looking at it. I knew Colin Hart had terminal cancer a few weeks before he died. And we spent time talking about what he thought about his life, and the fact that he was at a stage where he was very pragmatic. And he said, I've enjoyed my career at work, and I've loved my family life. And he was very, very accepting of it. And I think that's, the only thing and only place you can be at. It's tough.
So Adam, they say, on the news, it said that potentially 1 in every 2 of us is going to have cancer at some sort of stage. What was it like first of all, what sort of symptoms did you have? Because yours was bladder cancer.
Yeah.
And second of all, what was it like when you got that sort of news? And, how did you move forward through that journey?
I didn't. Yeah. Where do I start? I first of all, I didn't know what bladder cancer was, but that came down the line. I started feeling a bit, just not quite myself. And I put it down to stress at work and just mentally getting tired. But I'd never been ill. So I'd never had a day off, maybe half a day off. I had some heart palpitations when I was younger, maybe took half. I'd never been ill at Sky or at school or anything. I ran away from doctors. I never went, don't want to go to a GP. I didn't want to know what was in my body, because I guess I gave up drinking a long time ago. I don't smoke. I've never smoked ever. So, and I keep myself fairly fit. But of course, the stress of being in the boxing world, running around, and, as we talked about it, the few hours sleep, all that sort of stuff, of course, it can build up, and you can eat badly and all that sort of stuff. But I went to the gym. I was fairly healthy, I guess. But the stress is another thing. And it's a heart thing, of course, you've got to check. And and cancers, obviously, it's related to. There was bowel cancer in my family, just through an uncle, but not sort of direct. But yeah, I guess I didn't really think about it. And then I got blood in my urine.
Wow.
And I just thought, wow. When it first happened, I thought, whoa, wow. I thought, that's odd. Didn't really think about it. I thought I must have eaten something, or, maybe it was... I Googled. I mean, it's probably the worst thing you should do. Google. Don't do that, and I don't do that anymore. But I Googled, and it said if you've got blood in your urine, you should get to your GP. It could be something. It could be an infection, or it could be something more sinister. But I thought, nah. And I thought, I've eaten some beetroot in a salad or something. You con your brain, don't you? You just don't want to. You don't want to know, right? And then it went away, and I thought, okay. That's just nothing. And then it came back, and then it sort of got more regular. And
what sort of period are we talking about? Weeks or
months?
Yeah,
we're talking a small period, but it came back. So I thought it wasn't anything, and then it came back, and then for about maybe a couple of weeks, it was not good. But then it sort of went again, and so I wasn't quite sure. And then it came back, and it was really awful. It was really heavy. It was like clotted, and it was obvious that something was seriously wrong. And then I didn't want to do anything about it. It was like the brain saying, I know something is seriously wrong. And then it's your other part saying, I don't want to know. And that's that at that time. Now, I would say to anyone, if there are any symptoms, or not even if there aren't symptoms, just you're 50-something, go and get yourself checked out. One of my friends has just got diagnosed with bowel cancer. He had an operation. He's recovering. He's good. It didn't spread. But that's in my little group in Acton of 4 of us who were really tight. That's 2 of us in our early 50s. So just go and get yourself checked out. Prostate cancer, Simon Jordan had it. He had no symptoms. He went because of his brother. So go and get yourself checked out. It's just no harm. I never did. I never got myself checked out. And I think... But at that point, I was thinking, and I spoke to a friend, and he said, get yourself to a doctor. You have responsibilities, your kids, etc. That's all I needed. I needed to hear it from someone else. So I went down. I went to a walk-in clinic, and I went with somebody, actually. I saw a doctor quickly, and they looked at it, and they took a sample, and they said it's probably a urinary infection. So they gave me some antibiotics. So I went back, I took the antibiotics, nothing changed. They said, antibiotics take, 72 hours to kick in, don't worry about it. Then I started feeling really unwell, like tired. And someone said to me, you're losing weight. And I thought, I've got cancer. I just thought it. I just thought it's definitely cancer. Because I thought, I have not felt like this. And there was blood in the urine. It can't be. And the antibiotics haven't done anything. Come on. Put 2 and 2 together. And then again, someone said to me, they said, go back on the Monday if things haven't changed. And it was like the Wednesday. And someone said to me, go back in. You're not feeling good. It's not working. Thank you very much, the friends that told me that. I went back in, and there was no infection in the blood. So they knew then that it was something else. So I got sent down to a hospital, and I was checked out. And they said it's one of 3 things. They asked me if I was a smoker. I said, never smoked in my life. They said, it's one of 3 things. It's a urinary infection. It is gallstones, or it is bladder cancer. And I said, what's bladder cancer? And they said, it's normally a smoker's cancer that affects people normally in their 70s, average age about 74. It's often a cancer that people get later on in life, and often maybe that's one of the things they don't recover from. So I was 51 at the time, and they said it's very rare for a non-smoker and someone at 51 to have bladder cancer, but it happens. And it could be. But they need to do a CT scan. NHS were unbelievable. They were really quick. I owe my life to them. Forever grateful. I was in the Prue Hospital at the time in Kent, and I went in, and I was in and out of there for the next few weeks. I went in for a CT scan, and then they called me back 2 days later, so I knew it was serious. It was Valentine's Day. I went in, and I walked into They gave me more blood tests and stuff. I walked into a little office and a doctor came up to me and he handed me 2 bits of paper. And one said something about a nephrostomy, which I had no idea what it was. And the other said, it was something to do. I looked at it, I glanced at it and thought, I've got a tumor. And I looked at the other and said, I don't know what that is. So I was really confused. And I got in and I sat down and he said, let me show you on the screen. And he put a TV screen up. And on the screen, he showed me my bladder. And there was a round bit taking up 2/3 of the bladder, probably. Looked like a big orange, more to one side.